All right, so you're thinking about starting an Etsy shop? Well, you've come to the right place. This is your playbook. We're going to skip all that get rich quick noise and give you a real practical guide for building a business that actually lasts. So, you've got that entrepreneurial spark and you're looking at Etsy. Makes sense. It's a huge marketplace with massive potential. But let's be real, it's also more crowded than ever. So the big question is, how do you actually stand out and make it work? First things first, let's start with a serious dose of reality. And this quote right here, it says it all. Etsy is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time, it takes patience, and it definitely takes a willingness to learn. So if you're looking for instant cash, this probably isn't it. But if you're ready to build something real, then stick around. Which brings us to Act 1, having the right mindset for the marathon. Because before you even think about your first product, you need to get your head right for the journey. And trust me, the very first challenge can be a real shocker. Okay, so picture this. You finally launch your shop, you're all excited, and then bam, it gets suspended. Before you have a total meltdown, just know it's not personal. This happens to a ton of new shops. It's usually just an automated bot making sure you're a real person. Yeah, it's discouraging, but it's almost always temporary. So, seriously, whatever you do, don't panic. And definitely don't quit. Instead, I want you to see this waiting period as a secret advantage. This is your chance to get ahead of the game. Use this time to research what's hot, create a backlog of amazing designs, and get all your listings drafted. Turn that frustrating downtime into super productive prep time. And look, this quote right here is proof. The person whose experience this guide is based on, they went through this exact thing. If they had given up at that very first hurdle, everything would be different. How you handle this first test really does set the stage for everything else. All right, so once you've got that mindset locked in, we move on to Act 2, the anatomy of a sale. Once your shop is up and running, success really boils down to a pretty simple 3-part engine that turns casual browsers into actual paying customers. The first part of that engine is just getting found. I mean, you could have the most amazing product on the planet, but if it's hidden away where nobody can see it, it doesn't really matter, does it? This is where search engine optimization, or SEO, comes in. It's how you get your awesome stuff in front of the people who are already looking for it. You have to remember, Etsy is just a big search engine, kind of like Google. So you have to think like a customer. What exact words would they type into that search bar? Your job is to find those keywords and stuff them into your titles and tags. Use every single character they give you to tell Etsy's algorithm exactly what you're selling. Okay, nice. Your SEO is working and people are seeing your listing in their search results. That's fantastic. But now you've got to get them to actually click on your product. You're just one thumbnail in a sea of options, and that all comes down to your main photo. Your thumbnail is your one and only first impression. Sure, free mockups are okay if you have zero budget, but let's be honest, they can look pretty generic. Investing just a few dollars, seriously, like $10 in a high-quality professional mockup can make a world of difference. It's a tiny one-time purchase that makes your shop look way more legit and instantly boosts your clicks. They found you. They clicked. You're so close. Now for the final, most important step, closing the deal. This is the moment of truth where the overall quality of your listing has to convince that person to pull out their wallet and hit Add to Cart. So what even is a high-quality listing? Well, it's not just one thing. It's the perfect combination of everything we've been talking about. It's powerful SEO, so the right person finds you. It's eye-catching photos, so they click. And it's a fantastic design that makes them feel like they just have to own it. When all three of those things work together, that's when you hear that cha-ching. And that first sale? It's just the beginning. So for our final act, let's talk about building a lasting brand. This is how you go from making individual sales to creating a real, sustainable business that can actually grow. The absolute foundation of any long-term business is trust. And on Etsy, trust has a name: customer reviews. Great reviews are what we call social proof. They tell new shoppers, hey, it's safe to buy from here. These guys are legit. Honestly, they can make or break a new shop. But here's the thing. You can't just sit back and hope for reviews to magically appear. You got to be proactive. It can be as simple as sending a follow-up message after their order arrives, just to make sure they're happy. If they are, a quick, kind, a review would really help my small business. Goes a long way. And here's a pro tip. If you want those super valuable photo reviews, offer an entry into a little monthly raffle.
It's a tiny cost for something that's pure gold for your shop. Now, as you're building your brand, it's really easy to get stuck in a rut. I see it all the time with new sellers. They get laser focused on the most popular stuff, like t-shirts and sweatshirts. And look, those are great, but that market is incredibly crowded.
But the world of print on demand is huge. You have no idea. We're talking license plate frames? Yup. Watch bands? You bet. Pillows, even underwear. Seriously, there are over 1,000 different products out there. By exploring some of these less common items, you can find whole new markets with way less competition. Don't be afraid to get weird with it. So this all leads to the big question. What's the right strategy for your shop? Well, there are basically three main flavors. You've got the general store, where you throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Then there's the niche store, where you go all in on one theme, like everything for dog lovers. Or you could do a product store, where you become the absolute go-to for one thing, like tote bags for every niche you can imagine. There's no single right answer. The key is to pick a lane and totally own it. And that's really the main takeaway here. Think of all this advice, the SEO, the photos, the reviews, not as a strict rulebook, but as ingredients in a pantry. Your job is to be the chef. You look at what other successful people are doing, you grab the pieces you like, and you mix them all together to create your own unique secret sauce. So the only question left is, what's the very first ingredient you're going to put into your secret sauce? Is it going to be investing in some killer mock-ups, diving deep into keyword research, or maybe exploring a totally new product? The journey starts with that one first step.